Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Studio Insights. If you would like to become a better instructional designer, you're definitely in the right place. Before we get into the episode, we just want to share that we have a human-centered design cohort that we think would be incredible for you. It helps you to apply human-centered design to your projects. We've had great feedback from it. You get to join in on group coaching. You get a playbook that has practical activities that you can use. You get to watch role plays and you get to apply the process to your own projects. So it's very epic. Definitely check it out. It's in the description below. Well, let's get into the episode. Before we do get into it, I just wanted to give everyone a little teaser of the questions that might be coming.
Ooh.
So I wanted to know, if your question was a color, what would it be and why?
Ha! I know mine. It's a fucking rainbow because I'm looking for brainstorming ideas. You.
I love that. That's cool. What about you, Vic?
I don't know. The color that came to mind was blue, but I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, mine is... Oh, sorry. Keep going.
I don't know. I was going to say when I ask it, maybe you guys will know why it's blue.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, let's... Okay, so...
analyze it.
What is the meaning of blue?
Well, I feel like it could be a few different things. And I also feel like my question could elicit a few different emotions. Like it can be like calm, or it can be like sadness, or I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Hannah, what's your color?
My color is red.
Oh.
And it's only because it's relevant to a country, and red is like the main color on their flag.
Interesting. All right. I'm excited. I have no idea what's coming.
You go first, Kim.
Oh, I reckon go last because I've got like...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because then I need more time and I don't want to impact yours. But thank you.
All right. All good. You go, Vic.
So I want to ask for both of you on if you're going in to have a difficult conversation with someone, and say you need to like set boundaries or set expectations or reset expectations. What are like your tips for success?
Jesus.
And this could be like, it could be work.
We don't,
like just how you like approach it. Maybe you've done something wrong, maybe the other person's done something wrong and you need to like address that. How do you get through it?
I think one thing is I think it's related to performance reviews, but like you talk about the action that they took, that you observed, and how it made you feel, rather than saying like you're rude or you're annoying or you did the wrong thing. Just said you did X and it made me feel like X, and then let them explain their side of the story, because there may be things like you don't know. And I think that helps them share their truth and feel comfortable to do that with you, rather than feel like defensive and like they're having to protect their ego.
Love that.
Okay, I would say, I think it is going on what Hannah said. I like to do like planning beforehand because it's a situation that I don't feel comfortable in to do in the moment, or I can do it, but I don't always get the best outcome. Like, because I might not manage my tone because I'm feeling nervous or whatever, like if it's a difficult conversation. So in my planning, I think about like what Hannah said, like I'm feeling this, and let it all out and get my perspective out there. And then it's like, okay, so I'm feeling this. What if this is fact and what's emotion, or what's fact versus imaginary shit that I've made up in my head around the whole situation? When I've got clear on my stuff, then I look at the other person's perspective. Sorry, no, with that, before I go to the other person, I then go, okay, what's my responsibility within all of these things? Like everything that I've come up with, I'm like, have I done everything within my control and influence to take responsibility for all of those things that I've listed out? And then that leads to like, well, I could have communicated this better, or I should have told them this in the first place, or I let them down here, or I needed to do this extra thing, or I didn't do this thing, or I could have done that a different way. So it comes to like solution, but based on like me taking responsibility. And I think going back to what Hannah was saying around not pointing the finger or putting blame on the other person. And it always takes two to tango, or however many people are in there. And whether the responsibility for me is like 99 versus 1%, and I have taken 99% of that responsibility, I still think that's a valuable exercise. And then I like to think about like, what is the, now it's flowing, sorry. Now it's like, yeah, like what is the, how do I want this conversation to play out? I don't want accusations, I don't want angry tone, blah blah blah. So I think what's like the ideal outcome is that we resolve it, we come to a peaceful resolution, that we both feel heard, validated, whatever it is. So I'm looking at what's the outcome I'm trying to achieve, how can I then create the environment and structure the conversation. And that's where the empathy comes in for the other person. Like, shit, this might be going through their head. I just think about like, I remember like when I worked in corporate, and sometimes you hear it with stories with like clients, it's like a calendar invite pops up and it's like, we need to talk, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And then like it might be just like a little bit of gossip, and it's like, I need to fill you in on what happened at the weekend with blah blah blah. But like when you get a we need to talk, like your head just spirals, right?
Yeah.
So kind of like thinking about those things, if I just send that, how could that be responded to, even if it's something exciting you want to share for the other person. And then allowing the other person, like I need to like have little prompts for myself. So it's like, remember to ask this question. So it's not just all the Kim show, for example, like allow the person to respond, and then have a little prompt for myself to guide the outcome. Like the outcome was that we have a peaceful resolution and we agree on next steps, for example, and those next steps will be checked in on in this time. That's kind of what's coming up for me right now.
How do you, if you're having a face-to-face conversation, how do you do the prompts? Like, are you just like, I've got stuff written down, I need to like check it?
Yeah, normally it's like words for me. Like I'm able to just have like I just did it there, and it was like fact versus emotion. So I just have, I don't want the other person to see it, which I haven't been in that situation, but like I'll just write it smaller. But like like I would just frame it as in like, I'm just going to take notes because I don't want to forget, and there might be things like we're probably going to process a lot of things, so I want to make sure that everything is heard, everything is discussed, and then just have my little notes.
I'm just processing.
Sorry, I'm just thinking, if you can't do that, what I do is I do that for myself, and then like where it's in, it can be even like a good thing where you're just like, I don't know, you haven't seen someone in a long while and you're like, I need to catch up on XYZ. But it's, can you remember, okay, well, I want to talk to them about these 3 things, and then just going in your head onto, I have 3 things. What are the 3 things? And it's like X, Y, Z. And if you can get them down to 3 words that are your prompt, if you don't have the words in front of you.
Yeah. I like that.
And also if it is an in-person thing, like I haven't had to do this in many, many years, but I like rehearse it out loud. And ideally I like going to like client meetings and stuff when I was like the first kickoff meeting and stuff, like I get a little nervous, but when I'm driving there, I'm just like saying my little like prompts and script kind of, so I feel confident. So in the room I'm good. So I do that.
Yeah, I have been trying to rehearse it, but I feel like in the moment I'm going to be stressing. I don't want to forget the important parts or say it the wrong way when I've figured out how I want to say it.
That's the thing though, I feel like you can tell the other person that look, I'm nervous about having this conversation. It is
Yeah.
really important to me. Like maybe you're really important to me and I want this conversation to work out. So I have written notes because I want to make sure I express myself in the right way. Don't take it in the wrong way that I'm reading notes. It's just for me because I'm feeling a little bit nervous.
Of course.
Read through the note. Like if someone said that to me, I'd just be like, okay, like I'm definitely going to focus on what they're saying because I know it's important.
Yeah.
And they're putting in the effort that they've actually prepared for this because they want to communicate it to me properly. So I think that's a nice thing.
I think that's a beautiful thing. Like it really shows that you care when you go, I've put thought into this. I have notes. I've thought about this. Like, and then the receiving person can only, like if they're a good human, can only respect that. Like you're not just coming fired up about whatever. Like I'm not saying it's like a grr kind of negative conversation.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, like they really have thought about this. So yeah, I'm going to it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place to be.
And I think letting them process as well, like because sometimes people can feel overwhelmed if you come at them with something. So you could always say like, these are my thoughts, but I'm happy for you to like take your time to process it and we can like continue the discussion at another time. But I just want to share how I'm feeling. Otherwise, if you're ready to respond now, that would be great too.
Love that.
How are you feeling about it?
No, I feel like I was semi-prepared with some of those things, but I feel like I can get like better prepared to make me feel less nervous going to it.
Yeah.
So thank you both.
Yeah. I'd just be wary of where your imagination is freaking you out.
Yeah.
If you remember, like we don't know who you're talking to or what's going on, or even if it's even your situation, but it's like
it is.
It's like your imagination can really run wild on these things, and for example, make the most nicest human into a monster and your mind, but they're not. So if you can remember who they truly are and you think about it from that perspective, it can maybe like get rid of that energy that might be floating, but just be very conscious of how is your imagination creating this situation that is scary and like it doesn't need to unnecessarily need to.
You could also pick like describing words of the state that you want to be in and get yourself into the state beforehand.
That's cool.
For example, like I'm going into this conversation and my words are understanding, like transparency, vulnerability. And then before you go into the conversation, like just keep repeating those words and remembering that's the state you're going to be in when you're communicating. And I think that can improve how you say things.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm just going on what Hannah said, like in terms of state. I think like listening to music that gives you the right energy, whether it needs like whatever, like calm fucking meditation music, like because you probably have anxiety around the situation, so it's like how can you create the calm state, and even like can you arrive early to the conversation so you can settle down and get at peace in that place, as opposed to just like rocking up late and then everything you've prepared for fucking goes out the window.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. We'll keep you guys posted on how it goes.
The next question. I know our questions to be like, is the conversation coming up?
Have you got everything you need, Vic?
Yes, thank you.
Cool.
I think the rest is on me to find you.
You got this. You got this, girl.
Yeah. You're definitely capable, 100%.
And just remember, you're not going to die. That's what I always think when something seems overwhelming. It's not life or death. You'll be fine. Yeah. All right. Well, I will move on to my question. My question is, I wanted to know, so we went to Japan as a team and got to experience new things, be in a new place. And I just wanted you both to share like what caught your attention in Japan, like what specific things you can think of and why.
Not much. So much has happened since then, which is like a little very fucking privileged place to be in. And the one thing that comes to mind for me is the cuteness and how people they do cute, so that like a lot of the nation and a lot of the businesses are responding to cuteness, whether they're putting out products that are cute or people are buying products that are cute. That really fascinated me, and it like time that I've had at Disneyland recently, in that like the Mickey Mouse smile of those character faces. And I have already, I think I spoke about this in a previous Studio Insights around how to bring that in, and I did apply that into a project. The element was the guiding star and the tip provider, and it was received well. It's not live in terms of like the client and stuff, and how it made the learning a little bit nicer. I don't know, nicer, but like it definitely was appreciated in the same aspect of how the Japanese really adore cute. And I think I just experimented it on a small scale. Would like to look at what that might look like in the future. Not in the right mindset right now, but definitely that was the standout thing, because I just find that fascinating.
Very cool. Anything come to mind for you, Vic?
I can think of one thing, but it's not, I wouldn't say it was the most, like, the thing that stood out the most, because it doesn't sound that exciting. But I feel like the shop and like restaurant frontages, facades, I feel like there was such a big, what's the word? Like different, or I don't know, difference between different places. Like some places it's just like a little hole in the wall and there's like a doorway and 5 little stalls inside, and then other ones it's like this massive like crab or something.
Yes.
But they were all like appealing in their own way, sort of thing. Like we ate at a lot of different ones like appealed to us and made you want to go in there, but it was like from like this minimalistic thing to like the most dramatic, like you'd look at it and be like, is that like a theme park or something? And it's just I don't know, dumpling shop or something like that.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's cool. I'm just thinking like how we could replicate what they're doing over there and the things that we notice for our own solutions. And it sounds like, so there's a cuteness aspect, and like speaking about how we have done that in a project, we're like tapping into that cute little character and consistent character that shows up and people feel connected to.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like that is interesting with the shop and restaurant frontages. Like
I don't know.
They could be two, neither do I. Fronts, maybe? Entryways? Yeah, I don't know. Frontages, I actually don't know. Sounds right. Yeah, like it could be so minimal, or it could be so extravagant with like a bit like an animal, or like just crazy looking theme park stuff all over it. But both are like so interesting and engaging in their own right. I find that really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is making me think. I had the thought and then I was listening to you, so I've kind of forgotten it.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not you. I think they do empathy quite well, in that empathizing with what the person might want, and to how do I make the link back now? It's like I don't know. God damn it. Sorry, listeners. Oh God, what is it? It's like it's the association, it's giving you shortcuts, it's helping you say yes to something, because it's like, crab, do you feel like seafood? Yeah, I feel like seafood. That's a seafood place. Let's go in there. Decisions made quickly when there's the sushi roll over there and there's a giant, I was going to say wombat. I don't know. Maybe they don't know if they have wombats over there, but like, it's helping you make choices. It's helping dots very easily. It's that visual appeal, that delight that is happening for you. I think that's done quite well. And I think building on the empathy thing is like, I don't know, one of the other things that I keep telling people about is like the privacy thing in the toilets, where it plays music if you want to in a so I think they've considered what we were talking about with the difficult conversation. One question that Vic had is like, what might a person be going through when they're making a decision or taking an action? What is the state that they're in, and how can we make it for them to make a choice to get what they want? Whether it's you want to eat you don't like peeing in public places, or like, how can we make this as comfortable for you? And like, that's what they kind of do well.
Well, yeah, it reminds me, there was a toilet in one of the rooms that Victoria and I were staying in, and when you like opened the sliding door to the toilet, like the lid came up by itself and like a blue light came on. So it was like all like, you didn't have to lift the lid up. The light, if you didn't want to turn the light on, like an automatic light showed on the seat. Like, it was just so human centered. Like, it's made it so easy, the process. And we were like, oh my God, like so excited by a toilet. It's really cool.
What's yours, Hannah?
For me, I think it's like the level of choice that they have, and it feels almost like you can make it personal to you. And that's the capsule scenes and like the game parlors and stuff. Like, there's just so much. Or like that shopping, I can't remember what the shopping center was called, but it had like 8 levels, and like every single thing you could ever think of they sold, like, and different types of like the same thing. And I think like it's like a element of delight where there's so many options for you. You get so excited to be like, oh, which one like do I want, and what am I going to pick? And I really loved that. Yeah.
Whereas I'm the complete opposite. There's something in that. Well, I'm just thinking about the amount of food options, and I couldn't eat. Like, where if you're a vegetarian, do your research before you go to Japan. Japan tourism, that's a no from me. But it's very interesting to think about, what are people motivated by, and what do they care about, and what are you trying to tap in? When you think about shop, you want people to buy, right? But then there's a point where, like, I know people that are buying, or they go to the shops to buy, just like not intentional, but what do you call it? Impulse spending kind of buying. The amount of shops overwhelms to the point where they're paralyzed and leave the shops. So I think it's interesting balance to figure. Well, you got to know who you're speaking to, who's here, who is. Oh God, I'm going very deep now. My words are not keeping up with my brain. I've been on hold too long. It's around. Okay, so if we've got an 8-story high shopping center, and shops care about spending money, like making money, we don't care about the Kims or the people that get overwhelmed. We're just going to let them go. But what we do care, I'm not saying this is you, Hannah, but just in this little mini, it's like we care about the Hannahs and the people like Hannah that are there, and they're just like overstimulated, and they just buy out thinking, spend all their money, their thing. You might go and whatever plays out there. So it's like, who is your audience? Play to them and absolutely squeeze them to death, and don't worry about anyone else.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, actually.
Scale down who the people.
I wonder how you figure that out, though. Like if your learners want lots of options or minimal.
Yeah, you can find that out. You just do personas.
Yeah, interesting. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Kim, would you like to end with your question?
Sure. Thank you. So I want to know potentially two-part, but we'll start with things we have created on projects in the past, okay? Because I want to be able to I don't need blank canvas. I want to build on great things we've done before. So think about all of our projects that we've done before. The skills that I am trying to train on are helping people think. So the question is, what have we created in the past that help people think? It might be a resource. It might be reflective questions. What have we got in existence?
We have like that well-being journal book thing that we made.
Yeah.
We got people to reflect.
Would it be any scenarios we've ever created?
Okay, it's stop and think. Let me add that in. We need people to stop in their busy day and then think or provoke thinking.
Ask themselves questions. Like we've got a list of questions that they can ask.
Are you thinking of a specific one right now?
The project that we're working on, that I'm working on now.
Yeah. Okay.
That one. And yeah, that one.
Yeah. So for anyone listening right now, that is like, this is the skill, and we've gone and asked everyone kind of what is the tacit knowledge that is within them, so that if they had a list of questions, what that they think of, because the problem is these people do it so well that they can't articulate it to train others. So we've gone to be like, if you're in your head, what are you asking? And then we've got that list.
Posters. So do you want like the exact ones I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like in a library.
Yeah.
And we got people they saw something, like the impact they could have, and it made them pause and do something, like think about things differently. It was like the future desired state sort of thing.
Oh, yes.
Of the people that they serve.
Yeah. So it was like 10 years into the future or something like. Yeah. And it had a reflective question on it, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
It really showed the future state or the consequence and a question or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is exactly right, but we did the discussion cubes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I guess some of those, they were prompting discussion as opposed to just someone stopping and thinking individually, but like discussion trigger the thinking.
They were physical cubes. I'll just explain it for listeners. Cubes with reflective questions on that they were placed in places around the business to provoke conversation on a specific thing. The myths posters, that's actually getting me to think about. We had like all the myths debunked.
Mm-hmm.
Myth, and we allowed people to debunk it themselves by drawing in a blank space. I remember we did those like anonymous videos. Remember for I think they were a code of conduct one, and it was like, this is the consequence, and then, or it was someone telling it. That's right. So the video had someone blacked out and their voice was like distorted, and it was like, this happened to me, and they tell like a little bit of a story, and then it came up with writing at What about anything new or anything from outside of what we're in politics? So how might we make people pause?
Did you say outside of our projects?
Yeah, now it can be anything in the world.
Yeah, okay. I've seen like those when I'm driving, when you go past like work sites and it says like stop and look up, and there's like a little construction man like pointing up.
The stick man. Yeah, so you don't hit a power line. That makes me think of like when you see something that's like out of the ordinary. Like there's this van, they're a kitchen company, I think, but they're like van looks like the way the wrapper on it is makes it look like it's been cut in half. And when you drive, why is that van like smashed in the middle? And then you're like, oh no, it's not. And then you're like, well, what is it? So it's like something unusual that breaks.
Yes.
Fun.
That's like makes me think of, I've seen like posters that are upside down. Like they've been stuck on upside down. And I'm like, and it's like in a proper like bus stop billboard thing, but the company's like flipped it. And you're like thinking, was that intentional? Did they make a mistake? Why is it upside down? And then you want to read it because you're like, what does it actually say? That makes me stop and think.
Is the writing upside down on that, Hannah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. That's funny because I don't remember many billboards around me, but like that's one. Like the upside down one is the one I remember.
Yeah.
That reminds me of in Japan, like the random trucks that were playing music that had this like signs on them, and that the 3D billboards that weren't actually 3D but looked 3D. Just like anything that's out of the ordinary makes you stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this.
I think where the masses of people are too. Like if I see a crowd of people somewhere, I'm like, what's happening over there? And it gets me like curious to go and see what it is. Quotes on Instagram make me stop and think.
Yeah, tell me more. Are you in thinking, or is it depending on
it'll be like some life thing that you might reflect on. I'm just trying to like, what's an example? Like it might be something like life is short. How are you spending your days or something like that? And usually when I see stuff like that, like I'll stop and look at it and then like think. I might think for like a minute or whatever and then keep going, but it definitely like prompts me if it's like relevant to me. If something's unknown, like Vic and I found this capsule machine and it was like black, but you didn't know what was in it. Like it was like a
mysterious.
Yeah, it was very mysterious. So you didn't know what you're going to get in the capsule, but I was like, oh my God, I want it.
Did you get it?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
It's like you didn't.
I did actually get one. I regret it.
I don't regret mine. It's 50-50 chance.
Do you think you're more motivated by fear?
As opposed to I only live in fear. So.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, you know how like politicians and not politicians, but like what do you call them? Like political parties, they use a lot of fear to get you to vote for them.
Mm.
I don't know what the opposite is. We don't really see it, maybe, but yeah, it's just like do this or else. Sorry, I'm now thinking about like do this training because you have to. Like it's more like fear sort of stuff.
Oh, I think it goes both ways. Because I guess with that, it's like not if one party's saying like this terrible thing's going to happen, another one might be saying like we promise this won't happen, or like we can give you something better. It's like the other side of it. Like we would never let that happen.
Interesting. Yeah.
So I think I can be motivated by both. Whatever.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what you call that other side, like the promise of something better.
Yeah. I think as well, I'm just like with that playing out, it might be like make the links for people. So the first time they see the whole journey, so it's like this might lead to this, which equals this. As a thing, like you have to connect the dots for people, and be able to connect the dots for themselves in the future.
Yeah.
What dots looks like. Like trees don't just end up as a tree. It's like this tiny little seed one day breaks through the soil after you give it water, and then over 10 years it looks like this, and then over 30 years it looks like this, and then seeds drop and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of which we did end up doing something similar for a project. Like, you know how you had the pins with like the string that everyone kept adding to? So it's like seeing some sort of installation thing, but it's like seeing the big picture of whatever little decision or action or whatever you...
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Contributing. Yeah, that's cool. Feel a bit exhausted on it.
Yeah, well, I think it's just interesting because like for example, Tony Robbins and those sort of things, like I think they are like, this is what you can have, and they paint like the beautiful future that's possible for you. And that makes me like engage in that sort of thing. I'm just trying to think of like, I think when it's fear, it's more like you have to do it legally for me. Otherwise it's like I focus on like the good outcome that could come from it.
I think I can leave it here. Thank you. I have enough for now.
Cool.
Thank you. Great.
Well, good. All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of Studio Insights. Don't forget to check out the Human-Centered Design cohort in the description below. We'd love to have you as part of the group. What did you say, Kim?
Do it right now.
Do it right now. Check it. And thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you for the next episode.
What's up, awesome human? Thank you on behalf of myself and the Belvista Studios team for continuously choosing to learn with us. We really appreciate it. If the tips and the insights and the context resonate with you and you want to take your skills to the next level, or you want to make your life way easier, you will love our Creator Hub. The Creator Hub is a place for people like you and us. Basically, it's the stuff that we use internally at Belvista Studios, and then we just share it publicly with you. The Creator Hub is created by instructional designers for instructional designers, and what you'll love there at the moment is we've got a quiz, Could I Be a Better Instructional Designer?, that has so much tips in the feedback if you're interested in human-centered design or just taking your skills to the next level in terms of the solutions you're creating, the problems you want to solve. But in there as well, aren't we cute? That's us. But we've got the coaching courses, freebies, give us gratitude, and also we've got some templates. And basically they're always around the lens of learning experience design, instructional design, and e-learning. So a human-centered design focus is very much what we're about at Belvista Studios. So putting your learners at the heart of a solution and creating something for their needs. So there's the human-centered design stuff, and then we've also got the business stuff. So this is the stuff they don't teach you about when you want to become a freelancer or a consultant in the instructional design world. So go check it out. The link is in the description. You can check out everything that is available for you. Thank you for choosing to learn with us. Continuously invest in your skills. You will be rewarded as an instructional designer. Share this stuff, share it with other people, because when we are better instructional designers, we create better solutions that create better humans, that create a better world. So we have a very important role, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Have an awesome day.